Was the whisper coming from the lavender or from the wind? She didn't know. All she knew was that from the moment she heard that sound, none of the purple tones on her canvas were good enough. It was as if the real color was out there, in the field, beneath the butterfly's wings, and the butterfly was waiting for her, only for her. Her brush stopped. The lavender fields stretched for miles in this corner of Provence. Late June, the harvest season hadn't come yet. The flowers were full, heavy. The evening sun had gilded them, purple leaning toward pink, silver leaning toward lilac. But the colors on her canvas were lies. All of them were lies. Her hands smelled of paint, turpentine, linseed oil, that familiar sharp scent. But now there was something else. Lavender, too intense, too fresh, as if someone had plucked the flowers and held them to her nose. Yet the field was at least 20 meters away. The butterfly didn't move. She'd been sitting in the lounge chair, her portable easel in front of her, the canvas still half finished. In her bag were watercolors, gouache, oil paints. It didn't matter which one she used. Purple, purple, always purple. None of them were right. None of them could capture this evening's purple. But the butterfly was gold. She hadn't seen a butterfly like this in Provence. Its wings held light, as if tiny lamps were burning inside them. It hung suspended among the lavender, without swaying, without flying, just there, waiting. Was the whisper coming from it? No, the whisper was deeper, more ancient. She put down the brush, rose from the wooden lounge chair. When her shoes pressed into the grass, she felt wetness. The evening dew had begun. The air had cooled, but strange. She was sweating. Her hands were trembling. The butterfly was still there. She took a step. The grass made a sound. The butterfly didn't flap its wings. Another step. The smell of lavender was intensifying, almost suffocating now. And the whisper was like words now. She didn't understand them, but they were familiar, very familiar. It wasn't her mother's voice. It could have been her mother's voice, but it wasn't, because this voice was old. The butterfly opened its wings. Golden dust scattered, hung in the air, defied gravity. Then slowly, very slowly, it turned. The butterfly turned, not as if turning without seeing her, but turning, knowing her, calling her, and began to fly into the lavender, into the field. She began to walk too. She didn't know why she was walking. She hadn't thought about it, but her feet were moving. The canvas was left behind. The brush sat on the lounge chair. The bag was open. The paints were drying. She didn't care, because the butterfly was flying for her, and the whisper now resembled a song. The lavender touched her knees. The flowers were soft, warm. There was no wind, but they were swaying. The butterfly moved forward, its light not fading, its speed not changing. She moved forward too. The field seemed deeper now. At first, it had looked like a flat area, but now there seemed to be a slight descent, a gentle slope, downward, toward where the lavender grew darker. The sun hadn't set yet, but darkness was coming. How could that be? The butterfly stopped. Her feet stopped too. In front of her, right in the middle of the lavender, there was a small stone, flat, gray, moss-covered. But it was in the wrong place. Farmers cleared stones from their fields. This stone shouldn't be here, and the butterfly had landed on it. It closed its wings. The light went out, the whisper stopped. Only the lavender scent remained. And silence. Deep, heavy, expectant silence. She knelt down, reached out her hand. When her fingers touched the stone was cold, unexpectedly cold. Her fingers pulled back, but she didn't give up. Slowly, more carefully, she touched it. This time, it was different. Not cold, warm, as if the stone was breathing. The butterfly opened its wings again. The golden light returned, but this time it was softer, more patient. Not in a hurry. She wasn't in a hurry either. She held the stone. It was light, much lighter than expected. Something was carved on it. Very old, very worn letters. Not French, not Latin either. Maybe Occitan, maybe older. She couldn't read it, but her fingers traced the lines, like a child following pictures in a book with their finger. The texture of the letters was strange. The surfaces were rough, as if thousands of fingers had touched it. Thousands of touches had worn away the stone, but no one had lifted the stone. It had just stayed there, among the lavender, waiting. For how long? Years? Centuries? The lavender continued to whisper, but it wasn't frightening anymore. Now, it was inviting. The sound was soft, very soft, as if it came from far away, but at the same time was very close, right next to her ear, like a breath, like a sigh. Was the lavender itself speaking, or the earth, or the air? She couldn't tell. She looked up at the sky. The sun was still there, at the edge of the west, lowered but not set. The light had taken on orange and pink tones. There were no clouds, just a clear, clean sky. A canvas where colors slowly mixed, merged into each other. A voice came from behind her. "Did you find it?" She didn't turn, couldn't turn, because the voice was familiar, but impossible. Hearing the voice made her feel something, a tightness in her chest, a knot in her throat, but it didn't hurt. It was just there, as if it were a weight that had been there for years, but unnoticed. "Did you find it, the stone?" The woman's voice was old, slow. Her French was without accent, but old-fashioned, as if learned a century ago. And that voice was from her dreams. She didn't remember, but she recognized it. She breathed in, deep, slow. The lavender scent filled her lungs, sweet and bitter at the same time, soothing but awakening, a contradiction, but a beautiful contradiction. She slowly turned her head. The woman stood among the lavender, either very old or timeless, somewhere in between, uncertain. Her hair was silver white, but her skin was smooth. Her eyes were blue, Provence sky blue, but deep, very deep. In her hand was a basket filled with fresh lavender bundles. The place where the woman stood seemed higher than the lavender somehow. But it wasn't. The ground was flat. The woman just stood there differently, as if not touching the ground, but her feet were on the earth. She had stepped on the grass, but still different. "You," she said, but her voice didn't come out. Her throat was dry. The woman smiled. Her smile was slow. Her lips moved, but there was no rush. Her eyes didn't crinkle. They just shone, slightly, like the first light of morning, that uncertain glow before the sun rises. "I live here," she said. "I've always lived here. You used to come too, when you were little. Don't you remember?" She didn't remember, but there was something in the darkest corner of her mind, a picture, a feeling, lavender scent in warm hands, a song, a whisper, a summer day, very hot, her mother's hand in hers, a field, purple flowers, the buzzing of bees, a song, yes, a song, but she didn't remember the words, only the melody, light, melancholic, but beautiful, very beautiful. No, she said, I don't remember, but she was lying. A little, because there were things, not memories, shadows of memories, a feeling, warmth, security, peace. The woman nodded, understanding. You don't need to remember, but you found it. You found the stone. That's enough. She looked at the stone in her hand. Now it felt heavy, not cold, not warm, just there, in her palm, real. The stone's surface was rough. Her fingers traced the lines again, slowly. Each line might be a story, or a word, or just time. The marks time leaves. Wind, rain, sun, waiting. Long, silent waiting. What is this? She asked. Her voice was low, a bit louder than a whisper. The lavender could hear it, but no one else could. Or maybe everyone could, but only here, in this field, on this evening. The woman put her basket down. The lavender quietly spread on the ground, but some stood upright, as if planted. The flowers were fresh, just cut, but not wilted. Their purple colors were vibrant. Their scents were intense. The basket was woven from wicker, old, yellowed, but sturdy. She knelt down, the woman slowly, without difficulty. Her joints made no sound. Her movement was fluid, natural, as if she'd done this movement 100 times, maybe 1,000 times, maybe every day, every evening, for years. Her eyes were on the stone. This is a memory, she said. Someone's memory. Maybe yours, maybe mine, maybe no one's. But it was waiting to be found. Her words were slow. There were spaces between the words. Silence, but not disturbing. Just natural, as if the words were breathing. I was just painting. I know. The woman smiled again, this time more sincerely. There was something in her eyes. Compassion, understanding, maybe both, maybe neither, maybe just seeing, real seeing. The butterfly, it lives here too, like you, like me. We're all waiting. The butterfly was still on the woman's shoulder. Its wings slowly opened and closed, like a pulse, regular, calm, peaceful. Golden dust scattered with each opening, hung in the air, defied gravity. Then slowly, very slowly, descended to the ground, onto the lavender, onto the grass, into the earth. What are we waiting for? The woman reached toward the stone, but didn't touch it. Her fingers stopped in the air, an inch away. To remember, she said, or to forget. Both are the same thing, in the end. The wind blew gently, for the first time. Until now, the air had been still, but now there was a breeze. Soft, warm, lavender-scented. The flowers swayed, slightly. They bowed their heads, then rose again. They were dancing, slow, graceful, silent dance. The butterfly took flight from the woman's shoulder, opened its wings completely. The light brightened, then softened. It spun in the air, once, twice, 3 times, then glided over the lavender, descended, landed on a flower, slowly closed its wings. The light dimmed, but didn't go out, just waited. The woman stood up, slowly, her joints made no sound again. She picked up her basket. The wicker made a sound, a light rustle. The lavender in the basket stirred, rubbed against each other. "Come," she said. "We need to walk. The field is large, and the sun is setting. But you don't need to hurry. Time works differently here. Sometimes it doesn't pass at all. Sometimes it ends in an instant. But while you're here, time is your friend." Her words weren't like a promise. They were like an invitation or a reminder of something she already knew. She stood up too. Her knees ached a little. The ground had been hard, but it didn't hurt. It was just there, the body's reminder. "You're still here. You're still real." She put the stone in her pocket. It wasn't heavy, but she felt its presence. Warm, a weight that beat like a pulse. The woman began to walk. Her steps were slow, not in a hurry. The basket swung in her hand. The lavender stirred, but didn't spill. She walked too, followed the woman, her steps synchronized with the woman's steps. Slow, regular, calm. They were passing through the lavender, but the field seemed endless. With each step, more lavender, more purple, more scent. But it wasn't tiring. It was comfortable, as if going home. Home? Was this place home? The grass beneath her feet was soft, wet from the dew. Her shoes were getting wet, but she didn't care. The coolness spread to her feet, her legs, her body. It was refreshing. "What's your name?" she asked. Her voice was low again, but this time without shyness, just curiosity. Soft, calm curiosity. The woman smiled, but didn't answer. She tilted her head slightly to the side, as if thinking about the question, but didn't answer. "What's yours?" the woman asked. She couldn't answer either, because at that moment, among the lavender, in the butterfly's light, in the stone's warmth, she couldn't remember her own name. But it wasn't frightening, just strange, as if she didn't need her name here. "Everyone carries a name here," the woman said, "but no one uses them, because names belong to distant things. Here, there's only you, and that's enough." They kept walking. Their footsteps didn't echo on the ground, silent. Only the rustle of lavender, the soft whisper of the wind, a bird's call in the distance. Maybe an owl, maybe something else, but not close. Just there, like a reminder. The world is still here. Life is still going on. The sun was setting, but slow, very slow. As if the sky was waiting too. The light was changing, from orange to red, from red to purple. The lavender looked different in this light, darker, deeper, almost black. The butterfly flew ahead of them, its light never fading. The golden glow pierced the darkness, like a small star, like a guide, like hope. And the whisper was now a song. The lavender's song, the wind's song, the woman's song. And maybe, slowly, it was becoming her song too, because her lips were moving. Without realizing it, the melody was coming from memories, from dreams, from the lavender, and she was singing, silently, only to herself. But the woman heard, because she was smiling, and they were walking, always walking, in the field, outside of time, inside the moment. As they walked, the lavender was changing. At first, they had all looked the same, purple, row by row, orderly. But now she noticed. Some were darker, almost indigo. Some paler, lilac. Some had longer flowers, some short, and each had a different scent. One was sweet, another bitter, another spicy, almost burning. A different scent with each step, a different tone with each breath. The lavender wasn't just lavender anymore. Each one was a separate being, a separate voice, a separate memory. Some looked older. Their stems had thickened, become woody. Some were young, fresh, delicate. Some had shed their flowers, mixed with the earth. Purple petals had spread on the grass, almost invisible in the darkness. The ground was soft here. Her shoes sank slightly with each step. Grass, earth, roots, moist, cool, soft. Her shoes had gotten wet now, heavy, but taking them off didn't occur to her. Just walking. One step, one step, one step. The woman stopped. Her stopping wasn't sudden. She gradually slowed down. Her steps shortened, then stopped. She didn't put her basket down this time, just held it on her arm, waiting. In front of them, among the lavender, there was a small cottage. It was made of stone, old, very old. Its tiles were covered with moss. It had no window, only a door, half open, dark. The cottage was small, very small. Maybe one room, maybe less. Its walls were thick, the stones not neatly placed. Some protruded, some had sunk, but the structure was solid. Maybe it had stood there for centuries, or more, or never. Maybe it had always been there. Maybe it had never existed. "What is this place?" she asked. Her voice spread toward the cottage, hit the stones, returned. A slight echo, but not disturbing. Just there. The woman put her basket down. The lavender spread on the ground. This time more carefully, more slowly, as if it were sacred ground. The flowers didn't move, just stood there, silently, purple shadows in the darkness. "This place is yours," she said, "and mine, and hers." She spoke the words slowly, a breath between each word, a waiting, as if the words needed to carry weight, as if they couldn't be spoken lightly. "Whose?" The woman didn't answer. She just looked at the cottage. Her eyes were on the door, the half-open door, in the darkness. What was she thinking? What was she seeing? Memory? Or future? Or just darkness? The butterfly closed its wings and flew from the woman's shoulder to the cottage roof. Its flight was silent. No wing flutter, just movement, fluid, natural, as if swimming through water. It landed on the roof, on one of the tiles, on the mossy spot, stood there, motionless. Its golden light went out. Now, it was just a butterfly, ordinary, but still beautiful. Its wings were folded, pressed against its body, almost invisible in the darkness. Just a shape, a trace, proof that it was there. "Do we need to go inside?" she asked. Her voice was trembling. She noticed, but couldn't stop it. Her throat went dry. She swallowed. Swallowing was difficult. The woman shook her head. The movement was slow, very slow. Her head went down, came up, once, twice, then stopped. "No, but someone will come out. You need to wait." "Who will come out?" The woman looked at her. There was something in her eyes. Not pity, understanding. Deep, ancient understanding. As if she'd heard this question hundreds of times. Or never heard it, but always knew the answer. "Someone you remember," she said. "Or want to remember. Maybe both are the same." The words hung in the air. Didn't dissolve, didn't disappear. Just stood there, waited, wanted to be heard. Some doors remain open for those who wish to return. And if you would like to come back to this world again, you may quietly subscribe so the next story can find you. The door slowly opened. It made no sound, no hinge creak, no wood scraping sound. It just opened on its own, as if pushed by the wind. But there was no wind. The air was still. The lavender wasn't swaying. Darkness seeped out from the door, but it wasn't frightening, just absence. Where light wasn't, nothing else. Someone came out from inside, slowly, very slowly. First a shadow, then a shape, then a body. It was a young woman, maybe 20 years old, maybe younger. Her dress was white, but dusty, as if not worn for years. The fabric was old, the folds had faded, the edges were frayed, but it was still beautiful. Simple, clean, pure beauty. Her hair was long, black, cascading down her shoulders. Not straight, slightly wavy. The wind had tousled it maybe. Or hands, or time. Her face was like a mirror. Because that face was her own face. Her younger self. Herself from 20 years ago. Herself when she was at art school in Paris. Herself before her mother died. Her breath caught. Her chest tightened. She couldn't breathe. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Then she forced a breath. Air passed through her throat. Hurt. Filled her lungs. But it wasn't enough. As if it would never be enough. Her heart raced. Beat in her chest. Echoed in her ear. Pulse. Fast. Irregular. Frightened. But the young woman was calm. Never frightened. Never excited. Just standing there, at the threshold, between darkness and light. The young woman looked at her, didn't smile, but her eyes were full, not with tears, with light, the same golden light, like in the butterfly's wings. The eyes, those eyes, were her own eyes, same shape, same color, but different, more, clear, brighter, as if not yet broken, not yet lost, not yet given up. You, she said. But the words didn't come. Her throat knotted. Her tongue grew heavy. Her lips trembled. The young woman took a step. When her foot touched the grass, it made no sound. Soft, light, as if not touching the ground. Another step. Now she was very close, close enough to hear her breath. But she wasn't breathing. Her chest wasn't rising, wasn't falling, just standing there, waiting. Her face was close, very close. She could see the details now, the softness of the skin, the sparkle in the eyes, the slight crease in the lips, as if about to smile, but not smiling. "Why are you here?" she asked. Her voice cracked. The words came out with difficulty, but they came out. The young woman opened her mouth, her lips moved, slow, careful, each syllable shaped separately. But no sound came out, just movement, silent movement. One word, just one word. Forgive. Her lips drew that shape. Forgive. 2 syllables, 2 breaths, but silent. Her knees trembled. Strength left her legs. Muscles relaxed. As if she'd been held up by strings. Now the strings were cut. She would fall. She knew she would fall. But she hadn't fallen yet. She was still standing. She didn't know how. Forgive what? Her voice was a whisper. Almost just lip movement. But the words came out, mixed with the air, reached the young woman. The young woman extended her hand. Slowly, her arm rose, her elbow bent, her hand opened. In her palm was something. Small, red, familiar. A brush. Old, worn, bristles falling out. Her mother's brush. That brush. Yes, that brush. She recognized it immediately. The paint stains on the handle, the wear at the tip, the rust on the metal part. Every detail was etched in her memory, but she had buried it, very deep. It was in her hand on the day she died, in the hospital, in bed, trying to paint, but her hands were trembling. The brush sat on the sheets, hands couldn't hold it. It fell, was picked up, fell again. She had taken the brush, taken it from her mother's hand, from the trembling, cooling, weakening hand. "Finish it," her mother had said. Her voice was weak, her breath was labored. "Finish it for me." Which painting did she want her to finish? The drawing at the hospital? The canvas at home? Or something else? She couldn't ask. Her mother had fallen asleep, never woke up again, but she hadn't finished it because she was afraid her talent wouldn't be enough, afraid her own paintings would be dim next to her mother's paintings, afraid she wouldn't be good enough, never good enough. And she had put that brush at the bottom of the drawer, buried it in darkness, and forgotten it, or tried to forget it. But now it was here, in young hands, in her own young hands, reaching toward her, waiting. The young woman extended the brush toward her. Her arm stretched, her hand moved forward. Her fingers held the brush, lightly, as if it were very precious, or very fragile, or very heavy. She waited. The waiting was long, infinite. Time had stopped. The lavender wasn't breathing. The butterfly wasn't flapping its wings. The woman wasn't moving. Only they existed. Young self and present self, hand reaching, hand waiting. "I can't take it," she said. "I don't have the right." Her voice was broken. The words were crying, but the eyes weren't. There were no tears, just choking, coming from inside, from deep inside. The young woman shook her head, slowly. She wasn't saying no. She was saying, "No, you have the right." She was just saying, "You must take it. There's no other choice." Her hand reached out trembling, fingers stretched, wavered in the air, hesitation, fear, then touched. When her fingers touched the brush, she felt a warmth, unexpected, surprising, warm like her mother's hand, just like that last day, like the trembling, cooling, but still warm hand. She took the brush. The young woman let go. Fingers opened, the brush slid, passed into her hand. It was light, very light, but it had weight. The weight of years, the weight of regret, the weight of memories. The brush sat in her palm, warmth spread to her fingers, to her wrist, to her arm, as if the brush were alive, as if it were breathing, as if it were waiting to be used, to be held, to be remembered. The young woman smiled, for the first time, really smiled. The smile slowly opened, lips curved, eyes narrowed. A light, delicate, melancholic, but beautiful smile. A farewell smile, or a greeting, maybe both. Then, slowly, very slowly, she turned back. Her steps were small. Her feet made no sound again. She went to the cottage, stopped at the door, didn't look back, just went inside. The white dress mixed with the darkness. The black hair disappeared. The body dissolved. Only darkness remained. The door closed. Slow, silent, not harsh, gentle. As if a mother were closing a child's bedroom door, so they wouldn't wake, so as not to disturb. Silence. Deep, thick, heavy silence. As if the world had forgotten to breathe. As if time had decided to stop. The woman was standing beside her. Still, she had picked up her basket again. The lavender was back inside. When had she put it in? She hadn't seen, but it was there. She didn't leave, the woman said. She's just waiting inside. She'll always wait. But you don't need her anymore, because you took the brush. Her voice was soft, consoling, but not pitying, just real. But what will I do with it? She looked at the brush. It was still in her hand, still warm. The bristles were old, the handle was worn, but it was beautiful, very beautiful. The woman shrugged. I don't know. Maybe you'll paint. Maybe you'll throw it away. Maybe you'll keep it. But it's yours now, and that's enough. She put the brush in her pocket, next to the stone. 2 weights, 2 memories, one forgotten, the other found. Both there, in her pocket, close to her body, close to her heart. The butterfly took flight again. From the roof, from the tiles, wings opened, light returned. Golden glow pierced the darkness, and it flew ahead of them, guiding, waiting, and they kept walking. The lavender looked darker now. Evening was turning to dark. The sky was purple, almost black. Stars had begun to appear, small, distant, but bright. Each one a light, each one a memory, each one a hope. But it wasn't frightening, just calm, deep, peaceful. The ground was soft, steps sank. The dew was cold, feet were wet, but it was comfortable because walking was good, movement was good, progress was good. The woman began to sing, in a low voice, almost a whisper, an old song, maybe Occitan, maybe Latin. The words weren't understood, but the melody was familiar because her mother used to sing it too, when she was little, before sleep, in bed, in the dark, under the blanket. The melody was slow. It repeated, same notes, same rhythm, same feeling. Melancholic, but beautiful. Lost but found. Finished, but beginning. And she began to hum too. She didn't know the words, but she knew the voice. The vibration from the throat, the breath passing through the lips. And it was enough, because here, among the lavender, beside the woman, in the butterfly's light, it was enough. Everything was enough. The brush was in her pocket. The stone was in her pocket. The heart was in her chest. Breath was in her lungs. Steps were on the ground, and it was enough. All of it was enough. They were walking. She didn't know how long they'd been walking. Maybe minutes, maybe hours. Time didn't carry meaning here anymore. Only steps existed. One, the next, the next. The lavender was endless. Wherever she looked, purple. Dark purple. Light purple. Almost black purple. The sky was purple now too. The sun had set. Exactly when had it set? She hadn't seen. It had just gone. The light had slowly diminished, changed color, then disappeared. But it wasn't dark. Stars had come out. Many stars. She'd forgotten the sky could hold so many stars. You couldn't see them in Paris. City lights would swallow the stars. But here they were infinite. And the butterfly's light. The golden glow moved forward ahead of them. Never tired, never stopped. Just flew, slow, calm, guiding. The woman had stopped singing. When had she stopped? She didn't know. She'd just suddenly noticed. There was no sound now, only steps, and breaths, and wind. Light, very light wind. The lavender whispered. But there were no words anymore, only sound. Rustling, flowers rubbing against each other, stems swaying, leaves trembling. There was rhythm, swaying, swaying, swaying. Regular, slow, sleep-inducing. Her feet had grown heavy. Each step was a little harder. But it wasn't bad. Just tired. The body's tiredness. Natural tiredness at the end of the day. The woman walked beside her. The basket was still in her hand. The lavender was still inside. But the woman wasn't talking, just walking. Her steps were regular, never changed, like a metronome. Tick, tick, tick. The ground was soft. With each step, feet sank, slightly. Grass, earth, roots, moist, cool, soft. Her shoes had gotten wet now, heavy. But taking them off didn't occur to her, just walking. One step, one step, one step. The butterfly was slowing down. She'd noticed. Wings flapped more slowly. The light was softer, as if it too was tired, or slowing down was necessary. Everything needed to slow down. She was breathing. Deep, slow breaths. Lavender scent, still there, but not intense anymore. It had softened, lightened, something in the background. Familiar, safe. She looked up at the sky. The stars were brighter now, or her eyes had adjusted to the darkness. The Milky Way was visible, a white ribbon, in the middle of the sky, like a river coming from infinity. She didn't know where the moon was. Maybe it hadn't risen yet. Maybe it had set. Maybe it didn't exist tonight. Only stars. And the butterfly's light. Steps were slowing. The woman's too. Her own too. Both were slowing, as if they'd agreed, as if they'd decided without speaking. It was time to slow down. The lavender was thinning. She didn't notice at first, but then she saw. The gaps were opening. There was more space, more grass. The lavender was still there, but it wasn't endless anymore. It was coming to an end now, or a new beginning. There was a tree ahead, alone, in the middle of the lavender. Or at the end now, a large tree, ancient, wide branches, thick leaves. In the darkness, it was like a silhouette, black against the sky. The butterfly flew toward the tree, landed on one of the branches. The light slowly went out. Wings closed and stopped. The woman stopped by the tree, put down her basket for the last time. The lavender spilled to the tree's roots, to the earth, to the darkness. "This is it," the woman said. Her voice was very low, lower than a whisper, just a breath, but she heard it. "What is this?" The woman touched the tree. Her hand traveled on the bark, slow, gentle, as if caressing an old friend. "This is the resting place," she said. "Yours, mine, everyone's." The tree's trunk was thick. Its roots were buried in the earth, deep, very deep. Its branches reached to the sky, high, very high. The tree was like a bridge between earth and sky. "Sit," the woman said. At the base of the tree, between the roots, there was a soft place. Grass, moss, fallen leaves, a natural cushion. She sat, slowly, knees bent, body lowered, back leaned against the tree. The bark was hard but comfortable. It gave support. It held. The woman sat too, next to her, close but not touching. Both leaned against the tree. Both looked at the sky. The stars looked at them. There was silence. Deep, complete silence. The lavender fell silent. The wind stopped. Only breath, 2 breaths. Slow, regular, harmonious. She put her hand in her pocket. The stone was there. The brush was there. She didn't take them out, just touched them with her fingertips. A reminder. They're still there, still with you. She felt her eyelids growing heavy. Heavy. Very heavy. Keeping them open was hard. Blinking took a long time. When eyes closed, she didn't want to open them. "You can sleep," the woman said. The voice was very far away, as if coming from a dream. "But the field is here. It will always be here. You too, me too." It made sense, or didn't make sense. She didn't care. Eyes closed, didn't open. Darkness came, but not frightening. Soft, warm, inviting. Breathing slowed, deep, very deep. Lungs filled, emptied. Filled, emptied. Rhythm, slow rhythm. Heart slowed, calm beating in the chest. Regular, peaceful. The rhythm of life. Continuing, never-ending rhythm. She saw the butterfly's light. Her eyes were closed, but she saw it. Golden glow. On the branch, in the tree. Protective, waiting. She heard the woman's breath. Beside her, close. In harmony with her own breath. 2 breaths, 1 rhythm. She breathed in the lavender scent. One last time. Light, very light. But there, always there. The stone was warm. The brush was warm. The heart was warm. Everything was warm. Everything was slow. Everything was fading, but not frightening. It was beautiful. Because here there was peace, and peace was enough. Darkness, soft darkness. Stars, so far, so close. Breath, slow, very slow. Lavender, faint, a trace. Memory, or waiting. Silence, complete, deep, infinite. Breath continues. Heart continues. Body, but distant, very distant, as if someone else's body. Hands, cold, light, fingers, motionless, pocket, stone, brush, still there, but not touched, just there. Memory, released, found, both the same. Wind, gone. Maybe there, very faint. Hair, moving, doesn't know, doesn't matter. Cottage, far away, not visible, but there, always there. Someone inside, young, waiting, always will wait. But not alone, because remembered. Woman, beside, gone, doesn't know, doesn't feel, but there, always there. Basket, lavender, spilled, mixed with earth, cycle, beginning, end, both the same. Butterfly, sleeping, wings closed, light out, but there, always there, waiting for morning, maybe. Stars turning, slow, very slow. Sky turning, world turning. But here time stopped, or no time, only moment, infinite moment. Lavender, swaying, gone. Illusion, real, both. Purple, everywhere purple. Eyes closed, but seeing. Purple, deep purple, peaceful purple. Earth smell, grass smell, night smell. Lavender, always lavender. Moving away, coming closer, like waves. Coming and going, with breath, chest, slightly rising, slightly falling, almost stopped, but not stopped. Continuing, life, slow life, calm life, heart, beating, not heard, but felt, inside, deep inside, proof of existence. Hands, palms, open, closed, doesn't know, doesn't matter. Released, released everything. Stone, brush, fear, regret, released. Tree, waiting. always waited, for centuries, roots, very deep, connected to sky, connected to earth, in between, bridge, passage, rest, leaves, light rustle, or imagined, heard, remembered, both the same, star, falling, from sky, silver trail, then gone, wish, made, forgotten, doesn't matter, because star, gone, but stars remain, infinite stars, light, from afar, very far, started journey years ago, here now, touching eyes, closed eyes, still seen, lavender fields, infinite, ended, begun, all at once, no time, only place, this earth, this sky, this moment, breath, slower, deeper, almost silent, chest fallen, not risen, then risen, slightly, life continues, but unnoticed, just happening, on its own, released, free, body, heavy, very heavy, pulled to earth, gravity, soft gravity, embracing, holding, not letting go, but not imprisoned, free, because accepted the weight, accepted the rest, dream, maybe, maybe not, lavender, butterfly, woman, young self, brush, stone, all dream, all real, both, neither, doesn't matter now, because here, under the tree, under the stars, everything same, real and dream, memory and future, past and now, all here, this moment, this breath, this silence, purple, only purple, eyes closed, but seeing color, deep purple, infinite purple, soft purple, lavender purple, night purple, peace purple, breath, there, not there, uncertain, but doesn't matter, because here everything good, everything complete, incomplete, both the same, because no end, no beginning, only this moment, this place, this peace, lavender, faint, very faint, almost gone, but still there, always will be, in memory, in breath, in dream, tree, silent, waiting, always will wait, root, deep, reaching to sky, reaching to earth, both, together, balanced, at peace, stars, turning, 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 forever, but here no time, only turning, infinite turning, beautiful turning, breath, last breath, first breath, doesn't know, doesn't feel, just happening. And enough, everything enough, because here, among the lavender, under the tree, under the stars, there is peace, deep peace, infinite peace, and this enough, this enough. If you'd like to drift into more stories like this, you can find them here